The Comedy Zone is Australia's hottest new talent, apparently. It's the people who, I guess in the last 2 years, have really shown promise and look like they're going to go on to a bigger and better, kind of brighter comedy career, which is good. And people, I guess, who are doing things that are just a little bit different, not just, straight stand-up. I think they're always looking for that. And my role on the show is director, so I get to choose where we shoot it, what it looks like. Basically, just overseeing, and I think just advice, basically. I try and get a good mix of stand-ups, male, female, funny, unfunny, that kind of stuff. And, not straight out stand-up as well, like people who do kind of sketchy things.
My name's Laura Hughes. I'm from Sydney. I got into comedy because my boyfriend entered me into Raw. And I didn't actually know the competition existed, but my brother entered it. So then I'm an actor first, so I studied acting and stuff, and kind of worked out that a lot of actors do comedy. So I did that, and also it scares me. Like, it terrifies me, but now I love it. Being a part of Comedy Zone is really exciting because I can experience the festival and be a part of it without the pressure of an hour show. And you kind of really, feels like doing the festival but with training wheels. So it's really nice that you're really supported, and they really look after you and make sure that you have the best experience possible. And yeah, it's mainly really exciting because I just get to hang out with the other 4 guys who are awesome for a month and doing shows. It's like the best introduction to a festival I can think of. I developed my routine. A lot of it is just stuff that I've either observed and making fun of. Most of it's just stuff I've observed and making fun of. Because I think I find a lot of things that aren't meant to be funny, very funny, and then turn that into a joke, I guess. And also a lot of behaviour that I do myself. So, when I'm making a joke about me getting angry when my boyfriend comes home late, that's because I get angry when he comes home. That's all based in truth. So it's either thoughts I've had about myself or just, I don't know how to develop it. Just things that I find funny. And I'm writing a joke about it.
I fight with my boyfriend a lot. The last fight I actually had was about him. He never comes home when he says he's going to come home. It really pisses me off. And his response to me getting angry is, "You don't trust me. You just don't trust me." No, it's not that I don't trust you. I have a really vivid imagination. And I always imagine the worst thing possible happening. So if you say you're going to be home at 10 and you're not home till midnight, in my mind, you've died. Let me explain, because it sounds kind of crazy. It's 10 o'clock, you're not home by 10:15, you're dead. Murdered, car crash, ninja fight, I don't know, depends on what I've been watching on TV. 10:30, I've organised a funeral. 11 o'clock, we've had the funeral. It was really sad. My family was there. Your best friend Dave was there. It's really consoling and supportive. By 11:30, I have completely done all my grieving. I'm totally over it. 11:45, just to prove that I'm over it, I've moved all your stuff to the front lawn and just set it on fire. So don't get angry at me when you come home at midnight to find me in bed with Dave. I thought you were dead, so you can't get angry at me for that.
I find that in the smaller rooms, people tend to be more vocal than in a big room. And not in a bad heckling way, I understand what you're saying, I'm going to respond like this is a conversation way. So I think it makes it a bit more intimate when you can see every kind of facial expression on someone's face, because that's where facial expressions are. I live in LA, so I've been doing comedy over there, and it's pretty soul destroying. comedy in LA, especially because I'm just starting out there, so it's open mic, a lot of it, and open mic usually goes, there's like maybe 25 people show up and they're doing 5 minutes each, so it can go for hours, and you're usually at the end, and by the time you go up, there's like 4 people in the audience who are all comedians who aren't watching, all laughing. So that's good. I think that more than anything trained me like that I'm doing it for myself.
I've been obsessed lately with looking younger. It's like the older I get, the more obsessed I am with looking younger. And I've tried everything. I've tried the creams, I've thought about injecting my face, but needles freak me out. Anyway, it helped me come up with the perfect anti-aging solution. So I'm going to share it with you. I only hang out with people who are much older than myself. I'm talking like at least 70 years old, and I'm telling you it's working. My new boyfriend's actually 84.
When I get really nervous, I get quite shaky. So I'll have not like a shot of whiskey, just like a little nip of whiskey, like a half shot, because that just, my old viola teacher told me that gets rid of the shakes. When I was like 12, she told me that. She's like, because when I'd play the viola, I'd get really shaky. She's like, just have some alcohol. I'm like, I don't think you should be telling me this. But yeah, just like a little bit. And then, I don't know, just kind of relax and chill out and go, no, that's it. That's how I prepare. I drink a bit of whiskey and that relaxes and chills me out. It's no mental thing. It's just alcohol.
I actually had a guy break up with me because apparently I'm too positive. How crazy is that? I can't fault him though. It does take a special kind of guy to stay with someone who has HIV. So, don't feel bad.
I think all of us in Comedy Zone are really different. I don't know how... It's hard to compare it when everyone's so different. I think it's really hard. We all have a very different sensibility and very different style. So I don't think it does compare. I think, yeah.
A bit about myself. Well, I'm a father. I'm the only one in the showcase that is a parent, and I'm the Queensland guy, and I'm the oldest. So I'm the old father dude in the show.
I have a family now myself, and I have a little 2-year-old boy, and it's hard work. Don't get me wrong, I love my family. I wouldn't trade it for anything except to be single and not have a family, obviously. I'm not stupid, you know what I mean? I want to live too, man, you know what I mean?
I don't know, I used to do theatre sports, and then like the people I used to do it with were doing stand-up, and I was like, wow, it looks really difficult. And then I did it, and I don't know, I got addicted to the painfulness of it, I think. Yeah. I rewrite my set list every time because, yeah, I always forget, like, yeah, it's like a shopping list with the same list for years on end. I resort on my brother's fame a little bit. My brother's like an IndyCar driver, and sometimes I like where I'm from in Toowoomba, I send the Chronicle there emails and stuff like, yeah, Will Power's brother's doing stand-up, so, you know, why don't you put that in your newspaper? It's pretty pathetic, really.
Especially, he's a very successful man. He races Indy cars overseas, in America, and he actually finished in the top 3 the last International IndyCar Series. So give it up for Will, an Aussie overseas actually winning. Yeah. Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? In a way. You know, whatever, you don't get bitter or immature about your brother's success, that's the key, but if you do follow the Indy, he used to piss the bed, so whatever.
Well, when I first started, I used to just impersonate famous people. It was really pretty much famous people having sex. That was my whole act for like 10 minutes. I'd wear like Tom Cruise glasses, and like I had these glasses for John Howard that were like had fake eyebrows that were coat hangers with fur on them. I had like that, and I used to impersonate him, and that was just all impersonations. And now I do, like, I read the news and make jokes about some current affairs.
Mining companies and the government in Queensland are best friends. Mining company, for example, could come onto your property in Queensland without your permission, drill a kilometre into the ground, inject 600 different toxic chemicals to extract coal seam gas. They can do that shit. But I got fined $300 for driving my car with an L plate on it when I'm not a learner. Yeah, because that's dangerous. Oh, geez, look at that learner. He's confident, dangerous. 60 Minutes did a special on coal seam gas mining, and the guy in the special is this farmer. His creek had become flammable as a result of the mining. You really got to love how laid back Australians are. He had the lady from 60 Minutes with him. He's like, yeah, this was me creek over here, love. Yeah, nah, there's something wrong there. Yeah, just never used to be on fire. It's good for fishing though, they come out cooked.
I had a man on meth try to take the microphone. We didn't try to, he took the microphone off me one night on stage and just started screaming into the mic. My voice is loud, my voice is loud, my voice is loud, until security came and tried to get him off stage. He knocked a speaker and nearly hit someone. And I think they're the down nights. They're the nights where you're just like, why am I here? Who is this man?
I knew he was suspicious because whenever in an argument someone gets really defensive, they're guilty of something. Ever notice that? Perfect example. Go up to someone and go, mate, I wasn't going to say anything, but that hat makes you look a bit like a sex offender. What, a sex offender? You can't say that, mate. That's bullshit. I'm not a sex offender. Definitely a sex offender. That's how I screen them now. I've got a kid. People coming into the house, I'm like, mate, that shirt's a bit pedophile-y. And if he goes, yeah, Dame, I'm a pedophile, mate, where's your kid? He's all right. Because he's able to joke about it. It's obviously not true, unless they're comfortable with it, but there's no stopping those ones.
I have a day job. People are like, oh, so you do comedy. Well, eventually they will find out that you do comedy. And it sucks, because they're just like, oh, well, you're not very funny. Which is like saying to, oh, I play tennis, do you? Well, you're not hitting balls around the office. What's going on with that? It's really, yeah. Because I think it is like it's a performance thing. You're prepared and you've honed it and you do it, and then a dude on meth tries to take the mic off you. That doesn't happen at work that often. But yeah, I think it is frustrating sometimes because people expect you to be funny. Like this interview. I've just met all these guys, which is odd because they've all performed together before. So I'm the only odd one out. So yeah, and they're just assholes. They're just horrible people, and being like the older dude in the group trying to fit in. It's just hard, and man, I mean, I'm just trying to do my thing. Just because I got a kid and that doesn't mean I can't be cool. Like I got this shirt that's like an owl. It's really cool. And they just like make fun of it. But I'm not here for them. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for my audiences, so when I finish I go backstage and they're all like, sometimes they throw water at me or whatever. They've got like, a lot of them drink vodka. Just throw that at me and they're just, take that, Damien. And I just go, what, I'm not here for you guys. I'm not here for you coloured. I'm not here for you coloured. I'm here for my audiences, man. I go back in the audience when I finish and just touch people.
I'm Tom. I am 21 years old. What's about me? I just moved to Melbourne. I do stand-up comedy. I make music. I'm malnourished and I'm poor. You should come to the Comedy Zone show. Keep me going. I started comedy when I was maybe 19, so a couple years ago, and I think I started because I really crave attention and like I'm always people, whatever situation I'm in, people need to look at me. So if no one's looking at me, I'll bang my hand on the table, or I'll like or drink a drink very fast or throw something somewhere, and that's often very annoying. But on stage, those type of antics, I don't. Again, I don't like drink water on stage, but I guess I've always needed attention. I had ADD when I was a kid, and I have a lot of feelings as well. I like to communicate.
I went to a guy's 21st, whom I didn't know. It wasn't awkward though, until I made a speech. And there was this beautiful piñata that I smashed down. Only they weren't calling it a piñata, they were calling it a chandelier.
Well, I sent an email to a guy that picks the people for Comedy Zone, and I said, hey, I've really improved since you last saw me. I've changed my act heaps. I'm really, really good now. And he said, all right, I'll come have a look at you. And unbeknownst to him, I was lying. I hadn't improved, and I hadn't changed. But then he obviously didn't realize that. He obviously was misled in some way, or was just, or just liked me or something. Liked being lied to. It worked anyway, so here I am.
Not many people know that marijuana is a performance-enhancing drug. One time I smoked some before a game of basketball, and everyone else suddenly got really good. It is good.
What I do, I write short jokes, so I have to turn the light off in my room and close the curtains, and then not look at my phone. So I put my phone under the pillow where it's quiet, and then I just think. And then maybe after 4 hours I might think of one thing that's funny. And then I'll write it down. And then after about a week I might have 5 things I think are funny. And then I will say them to someone, and then they'll tell me that none of those things are funny. And then I'll either, or maybe one of them's funny. So that's how it's done.
I threw my phone off a cliff, but I forgot to switch it to airplane mode and it smashed.
The downside of being a comedian is that everyone that knows you're a comedian comes up to you and tells you a bit that you should do. So if someone introduces me and says, this is my friend Tom, he does comedy, then another person will say, oh, here, I've got something funny that happened to me. I was at the grocery store the other day and the broccoli fell out, and you should tell that on stage. And like, nothing against broccoli, but it's not usually funny, although it is healthy and one of my favorite vegetables.
My dad's very old-fashioned. He has a game he likes to play after dinner to determine who's going to do the washing up. And he calls it, Which One of Us is a Woman? He's old-fashioned, that's why. Alright, now settle.
I think when you play to a big audience, the nerves are that much bigger, but the reward's that much bigger. After I did Raw, I went out into the green room and I was yelling that I would never do comedy again. And it went really well, my Raw, so it was that much of a rush. I remember feeling like I was gonna let all of my muscles go and vomit and everything. It was good.
So my name is Dane Rathbone. I mainly do stand-up comedy and singing, and pretty much I've just been doing like stand-up for a couple of years. Well, I started out as a singer because I always wanted to perform, So I like kind of used to being in front of people, mainly to sing, and then like my friends were like, "Oh, you're really funny," because like I'd always like make silly jokes and faces and stuff. Like my dad's got pictures in our album where like I do this face where like I pull like my face down. So, and then so I was like, oh, I wonder if people like that.
My name is Dane Rathbone. I do comedy a lot, and also I do anything that's to do with like art, and that's like the kind of stuff that I like. And so one of my favorite like sing or dance or like I write children's stories. I bring all that together, so it's like you don't know what to expect.
On Facebook, I made a thing that says it's me, Dane Rathbone, which is a comedian, and so I send that as on an email with the link inside it, and then you forward that, and then if you forward that to one person, they could forward that to 10 people, and then if just one of those people sends it to 10 people, it makes like a spider web, and if it, like in the outside of it is like thousands of people. I always have a piece of paper next to my bed, and then if I go to sleep, I'll be trying to sleep, and I'll be like, I just want to go to sleep because it's usually very late, and I'm like, got to get up early because in Perth I'm working riding a bicycle, and so I'm lying there, and then I'll think like, this is really funny, or that's a good new face I could pull, and then I'll like, if it's something like an idea, I'll write it down, and then if it's like a new face, then I'll just take a picture of it.
Everybody has worked extremely hard to make sure this is a good show. Some of you might have laughed, and some of you might have said, I haven't thought of that before.
Yeah, I did once when I performed at a club in Canberra. It's called a club in Canberra is called Chingles, is it? It's not it's is it Changles? Bugles. And I was performing there, and that was all like everybody was gay, because that was what the club was about. Everybody had to be gay, and I was trying to do my set, which was like, oh, this is what gays are like. And then everyone was like, you can't say that. So that's when I learned that lesson properly. Yeah. What I think is funny is like if you're trying to have intercourse with somebody, and like all you want to do is try to do it, but then like because like to have intercourse, the woman pretty much has nothing to do, but if you're a man, you have to have an erection.
Dad, wake up. It's morning, said the boy. Oh, what time is it? Said the dad. It's morning time, Dad. Wake up. You have to take me to the park. You said yesterday you'd take me to the park in the morning, and now it's morning time. The dad had an erection. So he wanted the boy to go away. Go away, he said. I've got an erection.
In the state final of Raw Comedy Competition 2011, Khaled Kalafala, he won the state final, and I was in that state final, so I got knocked out. And so he said to me at the end of that he was very nice, but he's like, he's like, well done, you did very good, but now you know that I'm the better comedian. So I was like, yeah, that's true, but if you are better, then let's prove it. Because if one comedian is better than another comedian, all you need to do is say to like 20 people like who know you, like not as a friend but as that have seen your joke, you say which is funnier, or you take a recording when you're doing a joke and you play it, and then you say, is this laughing louder than when I do a joke and then they are laughing, is that one louder? And then if I win, then Khaled has to say that he can't show me his knees, and if he wins, then I'm not allowed to have my back against like anything that's like if there's a wall and there's a window on that wall, I can't have my back against that, because if he wins the competition.
My name is Khaled. I'm a 22-year-old Egyptian heritage comic. Both my parents were born in Egypt. I was actually born in Saudi Arabia. I've never lived in the same city for more than 2 years, except Melbourne. I moved around 9 different cities across 3 different countries. And to date, Melbourne is the place I've lived in the longest. I've been here for 6 years. I enjoy long walks on the beach.
I envy the way they say I love you in India. Me tumse pyar karte ho. In Spain, it's te amo. In Saudi Arabia, it's illegal. So there really is no sexy way to say I love you in Arabic. Ana بحبك. That's I love you. In Arabic. شو يعني ما بتفهم يلا؟ شو يعني ما بتفهم؟ We're not all that aggressive. It's a handful of people. It's a handful of people in like Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Iran, Afghanistan, Sydney, Coburg, Falkner, and Broadmeadows that ruin it for the rest of us.
I remember trying my first stand-up performance about 2 years ago, and because I was introduced as a comedian and not an MC, it was horrible. I just failed horribly. And I remember thinking, oh, maybe I'm just not made for stand-up comedy. I'm more kind of an off-the-cuff kind of guy. And I just convinced myself that I shouldn't do stand-up comedy. But then I entered Raw, and just going, like, the resonance of my failure just pricked the sides of my intent and was enough to spur me to focus for like a month on writing a really good 5 minutes. And it turns out I'm pretty good at comedy. So much better than Dane. And here I am. And I find the bigger the audience, the lower the IQ in general. You're always playing to the lowest common denominator of the audience if you want them to understand what you're talking about. And the bigger the room, the more they respond to primal changes in tone. It kind of like a baby does when you shake keys in front of it. A few seconds ago it had no idea that the keys could even move, and then you've completely ruptured that ideology. And sometimes in front of an audience of 3,000-4,000 people, for example, you can simply just change your tone really suddenly and people will laugh. With a small audience, you've got to have a little bit more of an aptitude for what they already understand so that you can have a more intelligent conversation.
In the 17th century, Emperor Shah Jahan in India built a monument for his love that we now know as the Taj Mahal. After the completion of this monument, he cut off all the hands of all the architects and all the builders to make sure this building was never built again. Some people think that's a really romantic story. I just want to know how that conversation went down in the office, really. everybody, great job with the Taj Mahal, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, everybody, hands in, hands in, hands in. We're going to need to make some cutbacks. Even if you did cut off everyone's hands, what on earth made him think that after 30 years of construction, after thousands of people died from cholera, malaria, just dropped dead from starvation, there would be one sprightly Indian slave that would pop up and just be like, guys, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I've got one more Taj in me.
I did have a vague idea that entering something where there's a showcase of up-and-comers, and there's only a select few, that in the audience's mind, they would be primed to rank us. So I was a little bit worried about that in terms of how would I rank, not because I want to be better than the others, but I thought the audience would instinctively do that, and I didn't want to rank lowest. And when I've seen the other guys, it's just such an eclectic selection of different styles. There is no way you can compare any of us, and yeah, I've realized more than ever that comedy is such a huge bag of tricks, and we've all employed different ones, some which I didn't even know existed. The moment someone walks in, they assume they're going to be wholly accommodated, and the comedian is going to be incredibly hospitable to their every need. And it's a huge, rude shock when they find out that I find immense pleasure in people's pain when they hear something that's really abrasive and they're not used to hearing, and they know it's not racist, but it just has the word black in it, or it has the word white people in it, or whatever, and they can see that there's some kind of irony and it's a play on words, and it's so absurd that I can't possibly mean it, but it's not pleasant to hear, and it's just a reflective kind of humor.
I'm not racist, you should know that. I come across like that sometimes. But I've moved around the world so often that I don't associate with any particular nationality, right? And I think that's a stupid thing that humans do. We build a sense of identity around a geographical border. That's not who you are, and you can't group people like that. You can't judge someone by where they're from or the colour of their skin. And black people don't get that. You've got to explain to them really slowly, because, you know, and clearly, and use pictures. They love pictures. Relax, that joke is riddled with irony. The irony is you laughed at the Lebanese jokes. So if you don't laugh at this, it doesn't make you a good person. It just makes you an inconsistent racist. I'm not going to pick on you anymore. I love America. I love it for two reasons. One, I'm more attractive there because I have an accent. So people have called me exotic, which is nice. So good for my self-esteem. And secondly, I think you guys are the nicest people in the world. I think you can really tell how nice they are, how nice you guys are, because now you're America. No pressure. When you compare them to another country who are well-renowned for being super nice, Germany. And a great example of this are two shows side by side. America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks, American, and Project Runway with Heidi Klum, German. So this is Tyra. Before me, I have 12 beautiful girls, but only 11 will remain. Whereas Heidi, designers. In fashion, 1 week you are in and the next week you are out. So who's it gonna be? The girl who takes amazing photos? Or the girl
who has lots of personality. Jacqueline, your designs are boring. Brandon, your design was not yet finished and we just don't like your face. So the girl going home tonight is... Alex, I'm so sorry. You have to go back to the house, pack your bags, and leave. But please remember that this is not the end of your journey. Brandon, you out. Please leave and walk into oncoming traffic. Auf Wiedersehen. And that is a direct transcript from the show.
You know, but I really, like, having been single and being in a long-term relationship, I much rather it. I really believe it is better when you have sex with someone you have feelings for, love or hate. Just any feeling, you know what I mean? Like, there's girls I'd way rather like have sex with that I hate than have sex with some girl from the city. It's like, oh my god, this is awesome. This is like, oh, let's go. I just have no feeling at all. I'm just like a hologram. Let's go. I'm like, come on. Oh shit, there's so many walls in this club. It's so rare. Like, at least if you hate them, there's some feeling. And when you're in a long-term relationship, like, let's be honest, you're having sex with someone you love and hate a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you can be having sex with your partner and feel a tremendous sense of love and compassion, but in the same sexual encounter be like, get mad at me for packing the dishwasher wrong. Bullshit. My girlfriend's from Estonia in Eastern Europe. And she's like, girls I've dated before, they get really pissed off with you sometimes. They don't tell you why until a few days later. Estonian women get pissed off with you and you never find out why. But you know why they're pissed off and they sit on the couch just... What's wrong, sweetheart? No, nothing, I'm fine. Well, obviously you're pissed off or something. No, I'm fine. You never find out. Just a dark seed of hatred somewhere. Having fights over nothing. Don't you hate that, man? Having fights over absolutely nothing. The other day I turned on the tap and it made the shower hot. She came out, why did you do that? Why would you make the shower hot? Sweetheart, it was an accident. No, you did it on purpose. To get me out of the shower. I'm like, sweetheart, you think I turned on a tap to scold you with hot water on purpose? I was so pissed off, I just threw my coffee at her and walked off. It's just a...
My old boss used to give me mixed messages. Sometimes he'd say, Tom, you gotta put your blood, sweat, and tears into your work. And then other times he'd say, Tom, why does this cake taste like blood, sweat, and tears? Thank you kindly. Sometimes I wonder what aviator sunglasses block out more, harmful sun rays or potential friends. What, you guys all wear aviator sunglasses? They look dumb, you know they do. Alright, let me tell you something personal, again, that I've figured out about girls. Females love candlelit dinners, as long as you never, ever let them find out that your electricity has been cut off. Let me tell you something else. I know there's a lot of lonely guys in the crowd tonight. I get lonely sometimes. Sometimes I get so lonely that I'll drive my car to a lookout by myself and wait till a car pulls up next to me. And then I'll start going, so the people in the other car can only assume that I'm getting head.
Performing is better than anything you can even imagine. I could try to explain it to you, but it would be like trying to explain the most complicated maths equation to an alien species from outer space. So just take my word for it, that it is better than anything you can even imagine. Every time that you laugh, and every time that you clap, A tear of joy runs down my heart and fills up that empty cup inside of my stomach. When the cup is full, I'm the greatest performer in the world, and everybody else looks up to me. And when the cup is empty, I tried to kill myself twice in the last 18 months. That was supposed to be the sad part of it. So 18 months. The first time I chickened out because I thought about worms eating through my face and my penis.
Every now and again, though, you come across one of these stupid white people. And by the way, sorry, I am white for this joke. I come across one of these people that has no idea how good we have it in Australia. The other day, this guy came up to me at a train station and was like, "Mate, have you been on the trains recently? You been on the trains? It's like a bloody third world country in there. It's like a bloody third world country." I was like, "Really?" Because there's a BBC reporter in Nigeria right now going, "Calamitous scenes in Nigeria. There's famine, there's bloodshed, and there's starvation. I have a local man with me, Ndeo Imtobo. Ndeo, if you can paint a picture for us using your best description possible, what exactly is it like to be here?" You know when you catch a train in Melbourne, and you wait on the platform, but the train arrives 4 minutes late. And when you board the train, there are no seats available. It's just like that. Guys, tonight's not just about fun and games and good-looking comedians. Tonight, there's a lesson, and that is you will never know what it's like to be in a place where there's overpopulation, where there's lack of sanitation, where you don't know when your next meal is coming. Unless you've flown Tiger, actually. Then you know exactly what it's like. "Mommy, may I please have some food? You greedy boy. There are people in Australia that have to fly Tiger every day."
I guess the opportunity is to get that experience out of the way with the help of, you know, having a director and having everything looked after for you, not worrying about the posters, the publicity, everything is really taken care of for you. There's not actually that much I can do. You're just kind of, you know, herding them in the right direction because, you know, you can find out. There's only one way to find out, and that's experience it. In the future, I can just see the Melbourne Comedy Festival just becoming bigger and bigger. Like when I first started, I think there was around maybe 250 shows, and now there's over 400. It'll be the first time they'll probably, you know, read reviews about themselves and, you know, get to experience the whole festival without losing shitloads of money, which is always a positive, because when you come back by yourself, then, you know, you've got to do everything, the marketing, and I think it's a nice way in where you're being looked after, and then, you know, you're set free on your own to cry yourself to sleep every night.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Let's hug it out. Yeah. We're good friends. We kiss sometimes. Yeah.